TrickLife.com.
So I'm Danielle.
And I'm Celeste, and we're the Sexperts. I think the first thing that women don't know about men in bed is that men really want to please women. But sometimes they have no idea how. So they need some information. And they really would love to hear from women what it is that they want. I mean, even just a few words about like, I like to be touched here, or this turns me on, so that they can get started.
I also think that men think that the only thing they want is to have their penis sucked, but actually they want to have much more.
Yeah, men don't know that they like all over body touch also. You know, and because usually women just touch penises, or they just like penises, and men think that that's all that they want. And so one thing that we tell women to do is continue to touch their penis or make contact with it in some way, but you know, touch other parts of the body as well, and incorporate more parts of the body, or kiss other parts of the body as you're maybe keeping contact with the penis or visiting it. I mean, you don't want to neglect it too much, because then they freak out and think that you don't want to touch their penis. But incorporating other parts of their body, like, then they can get a whole new level of arousal that they didn't know they were capable of. So I think that's something that women don't know about men, and that men don't know about themselves.
Yeah, because they didn't have a chance to learn it. And they learn from porn how to masturbate fast and sneaky. So, you know, how should they know that they might enjoy full body touch?
Right, and porn shows no full body touch on men. Well, barely even any on women, but none on men whatsoever.
Yeah. Men really want to feel women initiating, surprising them, wanting sex, being on top of sex, demanding sex, being outside of themselves, like really being hot. For men, this is hot.
I think they're afraid of. I think they're afraid of rejection. They're afraid that that they'll come off as too slutty, or that the men will judge them for being very sexual, because women aren't really allowed to be sexual in this culture. But actually, that's men's fantasy. Is like, they want a woman to say, okay, I want you to do me now, and this is the way I want you to do me, or come and tie them up, or do something to them that they've never had done before. Like, I remember we asked our other men in our workshops to write down their fantasies, and this one guy talked about his girlfriend one day said, okay, now you're an ironing board and I'm an iron. And she just like rubbed herself all over his body, and he thought that was the hottest thing ever. It was totally a surprise to him, and she initiated it.
And also, like, guys are always in charge. They, like, the social messages, they need to be in charge. They need to know how to lead women. They need to constantly be on top of understanding what women want sexually.
Yeah, once in a while they don't want all of the responsibility. They're like, okay, once can I just lie back and like she decide what we're gonna do, and she take the initiative, and she makes something different happen. So I think a lot of men would really appreciate that. Some men have really sensitive nipples, and they might not realize it, or they might be embarrassed to tell their partners that they have sensitive nipples. Men who aren't afraid of it have very sensitive assholes. They, if men enjoy anal touch, they really enjoy it, but also not something that they would probably ask their partner for. So, if women are brave and feel like initiating something, that's something that they might bring up, even just in conversation, because, right away you'll know, because he'll either say no way, or he might be like, yeah, okay, we can try that,
And also, all the perineum, like the area between the balls and the asshole, is very sensitive, and many guys love touch and playfulness and breath and licking and all kinds of stuff around this area. And the balls are very sensitive too. Yeah,
that's another thing that you can do, like if you're giving a blowjob or a hand job or something, just like use your hands or your mouth all over, like inner thighs, stomach, just the way that you would want to be touched if you were getting oral sex. You could try bringing all those different kinds of touch in. Well, I think the biggest dating mistakes that men make is they try too hard too fast, and they seem desperate. I become so attracted to a man if he's sort of like hanging back, listening to what I have to say, giving me some room, finding out who I am. If I feel like he's already like all over me before he even knows who I am, I'm thinking, this guy doesn't want me, he just wants anybody. So I think that that's one of the biggest mistakes, and then I just feel like my boundaries are crossed, and even if I thought they were cute to begin with, suddenly they become very ugly. I'm just not attracted at all anymore, because I don't feel like they're giving me the space to get to know them, and I don't feel like they want to know who I am. So I think that's one of the biggest dating mistakes that men make.
I think another big mistake that men make is that they just be very trivial. They just tell you that you're beautiful. well, so what? You know, everyone thinks so. So what's the big deal? So if they really go and allow themselves to get deeper and be very attentive to what's going to appeal to me, what I'm going to like hearing, what's unique about me, then I know that it's after me and not after my sex, you know.
When somebody says to me, I really appreciate you for your creativity, you know, that's something that I don't get very often, because usually people are saying, oh, you're so beautiful, or you're so sexy. You know, so what is it about me that's special, that's different from something that somebody else would say? And I think that that's a good tip for women too, you know?
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes that women make is de-emphasizing their intelligence and emphasizing their sexuality.
Men might be attracted for this for one night, but for the long run, you just miss the point. Because like, if you want to sustain a good relationship, you want to know who you are and what you're looking for, and like, stay there.
Right, because then they wonder, why isn't he interested in me anymore? Well, it's because you're not interesting.
Interesting. Not interesting.
It's like a romantic story that women are told is that you're just supposed to lose yourself in a relationship, and as soon as a man wants you...
You're supposed to be sleeping at all, you know, in a coffin.
As soon as a man wants you, you're supposed to just give up everything that you want and your life and focus on his interests and his desires. Men get so bored by that.
Boring.
It's so boring. Like, a man wants a woman who has her own life, because then he's like, you know, he's like, she's really interesting, she's intriguing, what is she doing when we're not around, you know? She's not just sitting by the phone waiting for my phone call. That is boring and unattractive and desperate. The sexiest women are both very intelligent and very sexy, so to bring both of those things to the table when you're dating somebody, I think that's really hot.
Give me 5.
So this is one of my favorite tips. If you try nothing else this month, you have to try this. If you are in a dating relationship, you can do pick me up at the bar and pretend you don't know me. This is one of my favorite games. So you dress up as somebody else, you make up a different life, a different career, and a different name, definitely a different name, and you have your partner pick you up at the bar. And you say, you know, your job is to find out whether or not I have panties on. and then you go to the bar, and he has to come, and he has to, you know, figure out how to flirt with you and figure out how to come on to you as this new person, and you tell him different stories that he's never heard before, and it's just so much fun, and it's so hot. And then when you get home, make sure you have different kind of sex. So if you're usually one way in bed, be a totally different way in bed.
TrickLife.com